Guys, what's going on? Hazard Avarice here, and I'm bringing you guys a deck profile of my Phantom Knights. I played this deck at my locals this past Saturday and topped first place with it. Had 4 rounds. First round I got a bye. Second round was against Draco Pals. Third round Burning Abyss. Fourth round Monarchs. My only draw was against Draco Pals, and then I won against Burning Abyss and Monarchs. I built this deck before I knew Jeff Jones was playing it, so shout out to Jeff Jones. He always finds crazy decks and just does a great job. So I was excited to see that he was playing them too, but without further ado, let's get started. First off, we play Triple Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak. This card is really good because if you banish him from the graveyard, you can add any Phantom Knight monster to your hand, so he can really add you some consistency. And when he's on the field, you can shift him to defense to target a dark monster and have it gain 800 attack. That's pretty good, but the main thing is the graveyard effect. That is really good. All of these guys are level 3 dark warriors, and it's just a really great deck. Next, we play 3 copies of Phantom Knights of Ragged Gloves. This card is one of my favorites because if you make a Dark Xyz type monster with this card, it will gain 1000 attack once per turn. So if you make, say, our star card right here, Phantom Knights of Breaksword, he's not a 2k beater. If you make him with this, he'd be a 3k beater, so he's really good for that purpose. This guy's the one I was talking about. If you make Dark Xyz monster with this guy, it'll gain 1000 attack, so he's 3000. That's really huge for a rank 3 monster. And when he's in the graveyard, you banish him, and you can foolish any Phantom Knight card from deck to graveyard. Next is what I think is the best monster in the deck for Phantom Knights is Triple Phantom Knights of Silent Boots. If you control a Phantom Knights monster, you can special summon this one from your hand. So he's really good if you have a Phantom Knight that you can normal summon in your hand, and you can special him. You've got your rank 3 play there, and it's going to be 1000 bigger. So Silent Boots is really good. And when he's in the graveyard, you can banish him and search any of the Phantom Knight spell or trap cards to your hand from the deck. So if you know what you're playing, you can search out your Fog Blade, like if you're playing against Monarchs. So that you can Fiendish Chain basically that idea, and it's just a huge play. It's very consistent for the deck. That's all of the Phantom Knights. I don't play any of the level 4s. So moving on to the rest of the rank 3 engine, I play 3 copies of Speedroid Terratop. This card is really good because if you don't control a monster, you can just special it, and then when you do, he has an effect to search another Speedroid. So you will add, oh wow, I got the wrong copies here. 3 Terratop and 2 Takatomborg. This is my Speedroid engine. So you special him and search Takatomborg to your hand, and then special him because you have a wind. So if you draw this card early on, then you have a 1 card rank 3 play, a 1 card Dante. So the Speedroid engine is really good and really consistent. This is the best ratio for sure. 3 Terratops, 2 Takatomborg. Next up, this is a tech card I chose to use, and it worked out really well for me Saturday at the tournament. Card Trooper. He's basically like a normal summon Dante. You get to mill 3 cards off the top of your deck. Comes a 1900 beater, and he combos very well with other cards in the deck. Like this one here. Edge Imp Saber. Now, this is a Fluffle card, but he has so much synergy in this deck. I would wager to say that he is better in this deck than he is in Fluffles. If he's in your graveyard, you can take 1 card in your hand, place it on the top of your deck, and special summon this card. I won a lot of games because of this guy. He was just a consistent level 3 that I could get out every turn. So he is really good. And I'm going to show you a combo. If you open up with Mathematician in your opening hand, then you also have a rank 3 play or a Dante immediately. You foolish your Edge Imp Saber to the grave, and then place like a Phantom Knight card that you want to mill on top of your deck. Make Dante mill 3, and you mill that Phantom Knight that you put on top of your deck. So this is a really good combo not many people know about, and it really won me some games. Next up, I play one copy of Spell Striker. He's a good card because if you have a spell in your graveyard, you can banish it to special summon him. And chances are you will have a spell in the grave, either that you played a Twin Twister or you milled off a Dante, so he's almost always live and helps you spam rank 3s. And that's what my build is designed to do, is designed to spam out rank 3s. This card I'm probably going to take out. I didn't see it at the tournament. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I always milled it and never drawed it. I'm probably going to take this out for something a little bit better. It was just an idea I had, and it was a last-minute decision to put him in, so he's there for now. Moving on to spells. I run 2 copies of Twin Twister. Self-explanatory. This card is great. We want cards in our graveyard, and we want to get rid of back row. Especially if you're playing Monarchs and you need to get rid of the field spell. It's a really good card. Next up, I play 2 copies of Mass Change Second. I main deck these alongside Darklaw. Darklaw is really anti-meta. He's really good to stop a lot of decks in the game right now, so having access to him is great, and most of my monsters are dark, so I can go into Darklaw very easily. Next up, I play one Allure of Darkness, self-explanatory. This card I will also be taking out for my next profile. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. 1 Raigeki. 1 Reinforcement of the Army to search out all the Phantom Knights. 1 copy of Burial from a Different Dimension. It's really good. You're not going to always have it, but it's really great if you don't want to make a Leviair. You can refill your graveyard because you are going to burn up your resources by banishing your monsters from the grave, so it's a good card. Should definitely run it. Moving on to the traps. 3 copies of Phantom Knight's Fogblade. This card is essentially Fiendish Chain for Phantom Knights. You target an effect monster. Its effects are negated and it cannot attack, but also you cannot attack it. It cannot be declared for as an attack. It's not a big deal though, because you can use this defensively and target your own monster, and your opponent can't attack your monsters if you have it Fogbladed. And plus you can blow it up with RXC's monster. Next I play 3 copies of Phantom Knight Wing. This card is almost just as good to me. You flip it, target a monster on the field, it gains 500 attack. And then if it would be destroyed once that turn by a battle or card effect, then it will not be destroyed. And you can activate multiple of these in a turn on one monster and give it multiple buffs and multiple destroy negations, and the attack gain is permanent. And then of course, all of the Phantom Knight traps, you can banish them from the graveyard and special summon Phantom Knights from your graveyard. That's really huge. Helps you spam the board and protect your life points if you need to. But if you do it to protect your life points, then your monster is going to get banished after it gets destroyed to protect your life points, so keep that in mind. 2 copies of Phantom Knight Sword. You flip this one, target a monster, and it gains 800 attack. And if it would be destroyed, you can destroy this trap card instead. So that functions really well. The 800 buff is really relevant and really helps out to get over big monsters. And then of course the banish to special summon from grave. And last but not least, I play 1 Vanity's Emptiness and 1 Solemn Warning. Kind of have to in every deck these days. But we make Master Key Beetle so you can protect your Vanity's Emptiness 9 times out of 10 with him, and just keep this on board, and that'll probably win you games. So that's it for the main deck. That is 40 cards. Moving on to the extra deck. Moving on to the extra deck, I play 2 copies of Phantom Knight Breaksword. He is like our best card, and shout out to Jeff Jones. This card just shot up to $40 now. So if you don't have a Breaksword, you need to be getting those now. But he's a rank 3 Scrap Dragon. You detach 1, target a card on your field and your opponent's field, and destroy them both. And if he is destroyed, you can special summon 2 Phantom Knights from your graveyard and raise their level by 1. And that's how you get into rank 4 plays with this deck. But if you use that effect, you can only summon dark monsters. But he is really key. You have to have at least 2 in this deck. We do want our cards in the graveyard, so of course Dante is also mandatory. Dante is really good in this deck. And sometimes him being a 25 beater is just really helpful too. But it's overall it's self-explanatory. And you run 2 because they can send each other back to the extra deck. Next I play one copy of Tri-Edge Levia. I never summoned him at the tournament, but he's really good to get rid of certain things. Anything he destroys is going to be banished. And you can detach in either player's turn and make an opponent's monster lose 800 attack points and turn off its effects. So Tri-Edge Levia is a really nice card. Next I play one Nightmare Shark. There was one time I was going to use this and it got stopped by a Great Horn of Heaven, but it's still a great card. This lets you get over an opponent's board if you can't get through his monsters and just get for 2,000 damage. Next I play one Ghost Streak Alucard. He's really good, especially since he's dark. If you make him with Ragged Gloves, he'd be a 2,800 beater instead of a 1,800, and he can pop set cards, so he's really good. I'm going to be bumping this up to 2, but I'm running the 1 Leviair right now. I'm going to move to 2 though. I actually want to make this more often. We banish our monsters, so special summoning them back is awesome, and it's almost free to make him because of the way the deck runs. And moving on to our rank 4s that we can go into after Break Sword destroys and special summons 2 Phantom Knights, so that's what these guys are. Evil Swarm Nightmare. If your opponent Pendulum summons, you can detach one and then flip them all face down, so you can buy yourself a turn with this guy. He's really useful. Of course, the 1 Dark Rebellion Dragon. It's Yugioh's deck. It's his star card. Of course, we're going to play it. You really only ever go into it, though, if you're going for game and you just need to get over a big monster, but he's great to have. And you could start him out at 3,500 instead of 25 if you make him with Ragged Gloves. Next, one copy of number 80, Rhapsody in Berserk. This guy was great. He actually really helped me win a game against Monarchs. I banished his Idea and his Eidos from the grave, so he did not have that play to rely on. And then I attached it to Dante for 1,200 more damage, and that basically got me the game because he couldn't use a prime to save his life points. You're supposed to do this. One copy of Master Key Beetle. He's really great to make. You can make him 3,500 off of Ragged Gloves, and then of course make him bigger with trap cards. And then you can protect him with trap cards while he's protecting other cards. You can see how this guy just gets really crazy in this deck. One copy of Downer Magician. I'm going to be changing this out probably for Steel Swarm Roach, although I'm not sure yet, but it was there. I never summoned it. This guy I made a lot. Utopic Future F-Zero. He's really great for just getting around a board that you can't handle. You can attack Cosmos and steal their monsters with him. You guys know what this guy does. He's broken. He's really good. And then, of course, the Dark Law, the 1 target for the 2 Mass Change 2s. That's the extra deck, 15 cards. This side deck's pretty bad, but I'll run through it anyway. It's playing 2 Gozen Match, 2 Effect Veiler. Probably going to take those out now for something else. 2 Light Imprisoning Mirror. 1 MST for when my 2 Twin Twisters aren't enough. 2 Cyber Dragon Core, and that's for the Cosmo matchup so that I can use those and their Cosmo ships to make Chimera Tech. 1 Crush Card Virus, 2 Poisonous Winds, 1 Black Ship of Corn, and 1 Deck Eradicator Virus. And that is it. Side deck's pretty lackluster, and I'm going to be changing a few things to the main deck, but it did really well. It got first place for me at my locals. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Thanks, and have a great day.